You know, it's hard to consider that part of God's plan is for things to get difficult, for things to get hard. I need to give you this reminder today that sometimes things get harder and things get even more difficult before they get better. And it is not just for a moment, it just happens to stay that way. Sometimes we look at difficult situations, at hardships, as reasons to believe that God's not in it, that God has turned his back on us. And that is just not the case. The plan has not been interrupted in his own pause and has stopped. The plan is still in motion. God knew all of those things were going to happen to you, allowed those things to happen to you, caused those things to happen to you as part of his will and his divine plan. I need you to think at even Jesus, all the things that he went through while he was walking this earth, only for him to be on a cross and to say, Father, why have you forsaken me? But that was all a part of the plan, is for him to be on that cross. And now, now he sits at the right hand of the Father. You got to look at Joseph. Joseph went into the pit, then got sold into slavery. And that was not it. When he got to a place of what seemed like elevation, he then was accused. He was thrown into a prison. He was trying his best to be able to help others, and he thought that he would finally get his chance, and they forgot about him for a couple of years. His situation got way worse before it got better. Look at Job and all that he lost, and yet this situation got worse. Then he had sores afflicted on him. If all the loss wasn't enough, then he had his wife turn on him and say, why don't you just go ahead and curse God and be done with it? Then he had his friends that he had to contend with that were supposed to help him. But he received accusation from them. And then his situation got improved. I need you to understand that oftentimes when the situation gets worse, it has all been factored in, and it is all going to work for your good. Look at Jonah. His situation got real bad, didn't it? Was a one thing after another. But his was disobedience. But his situation kept getting worse until he did what the Lord told him to do. So you got to understand, from the point of Joseph and Job, what did they do wrong? What was their error? Did it mean that God didn't love them? Did it mean that God didn't care for them? No, it was all en route for eventually the place of blessing and elevation that they would take him to. So I need you to think about your own life. Has it been difficult? Has it been challenging? Has it been really hard? Have you struggled and wondered why you even decided to obey and follow God? Have you looked at your counterparts and been like, how is it that they don't believe and yet they're doing better than I am? Is your difficulty, your hardship, making you question everything? I need you to know that God is with you. God has not forsaken you. He is in it all with you. And the reason why he hasn't removed the difficulty and the hardship, it's because he's going to use it all. The Alpha and Omega has seen what they did to you, is seeing what is happening to you. He saw the rejection, the hurt, the dismissal. He saw it all. He saw you struggle and worry and stress and be anxious about your current situation. And you could be wondering, how is it that God's not doing anything? It's because this is just for a moment in time. This has been for moments in time. And because he sees that on the other side of this, you are going to be stronger. You are going to be better. You are going to be wiser. You are going to be well equipped of the devil's tactics because of the fact that the Alpha and Omega has seen you on the other side, and he sees you blessed. He sees you being able to be a blessing to others. He sees you with twice as much as you had before this all started. When he sees you with double. He sees you with elevation. He sees you all on the other side of this. So he understands this is a moment in time and he'll use it. And it's going to be a testimony for others. Yes, you go through the fire, but because you go through the fire, other people are going to understand that the fire does not mean death. It means refinement. It means purification. It means that he'll be able to use you as a witness for all the rest of your days to bring souls to him, to get people asking questions. How did you get this? How are you doing all this? And then you get your opportunity to witness. When they tell you, oh, it gets hard, it gets difficult, it gets challenging, you don't understand, you're going to be like, actually, I do. You just got to keep trusting. You got to keep believing. So you can't teach people what you don't know. And God has taken you to the point where when other people say that they want to commit suicide, that they're ready to renounce God, that they're ready to just throw it all in the towel, that they hate their lives, that they just, you gonna understand. You gonna be like, I know, because for some, the Lord shreds. The Lord crucifies. But he has so much glory for you on the other side, and it's necessary. Hardship, difficulty, struggle, it's not the end. It's just a part of your story. But God's going to see to it, and trust him that he will, that it's not the whole story. Trust him. Don't run from him. Run to him. And allow for him to reveal to you exactly what's going on, and remain in the Lord. In this time, know that you've been through a lot. He knows it. And it seems like you're going through more and it never ends. But no, he'll work all of it out for your good. He doesn't waste a moment of your life or a tear. Trust him.